Who you calling a bitch, bitch? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 31. We're back again once more with the Div 1 boys, and it's race 7 at the Bahrain International Circuit. We saw the Div 2 boys put their hat in the ring last week, and we're a week behind, of course, with the Div 1s after that major lobby issue early on in the season. Full grid at the end of a game cycle. We say it every week, but we love to see it, and we must be doing something right to attract all these wonderful drivers. I got a good handful of reserves representing, and one or two debuts which we'll go through as we see qualifying unfold. Bahrain's always a favourite one for drivers because it's at the early stages of the career calendar, so drivers will be accustomed to this circuit, but it's a good racing one. There's good overtaking opportunities, good few DRS zones which help that, but it's got some great corners like I'll go around turn 12 now, some thrilling ones, especially when you're on the wheel. Me, I'm an absolute downer. I'm on pad. I don't get to race that often anymore. How about you get to hear my lovely tones week in, week out, and what we'll do is we'll hear them even more as we do a hot lap with Mr. Brutus Beer in his Williams as he goes down on the run down to turn 1, a hard braking zone at the end of a DRS zone, tight right-hander hairpin where you can see one or two overtaking opportunities with a switchback going through turns 2 and 3. DRS open once again after going flat out through those two corners. Turn 4, go wide left as possible, touch the apex on the inside, go wide on the outside, get a good traction as we under sector 1. Turns 5, 6 and 7, very difficult set of corners, easy to invalidate. Well, he's taken them well. Another slow corner, turn 8, where he's just drifted and lost his back end. He would have lost about half a second at least there. Climb uphill and go back downhill to one of the hardest corners on the circuit. Turn 10, left hand hairpin, downhill, off camber, open up the DRS zone once again, go right off the track to turn in late at turn 11, touch the apex on entry. Around a fast flying turn 12 as I mentioned on his outlap, very thrilling corner. Turn 13, an important corner to get good traction on the exit, or you're going to be a sitting duck as we approach the final couple of corners. Turn 14, where he's rode the curve quite a lot there, very scrappy corner there from Brutus. Turn 15's non-existent, but open up that DRS to end the lap, and it's a 1:28.1 for the Williams. I think also Arvel, let's see if we can get him back in, the Italian. No hand gestures in. Michael, Bruce's compatriot, 1:27.8, 3/10 quicker, as we see Michael's teammate for today, Masu, on debut, 1:28.1, pretty much matching Brutus's time. And then Katami's in the Alpine, going with a 28.8, caps lock in the Ferrari, 29 flat. But we see AJ in the Aston Martin go on provisional pole with a 27.7, but that's immediately whipped away from him by the Mercedes of Jax Daniels, 27.4. That's wiped away with Portuguese with a 26.7, a good 7/10 ahead. And I don't know if Portuguese is having it's got racing line on or not. I know he's had it off all season. He took it off from Monaco last week, but I don't know if he's got it back on. Wesker, P4 provisionally with 27.8. And Zoblu in the second Aston Martin, reserving 4. 6 Pompano, currently P10 with a 28.9. Timo, exhilarating debut season for the Haas driver, 27.8, currently on the second row alongside AJ. It'll be interesting to see his final few races, how they unfold. Adamako, P9, 28-3. Got his first win of the season last week in Monaco. I know penalties probably helped that, but you've got to be there to claim it, and he did. That's a big congratulations. Bumper car Ben, P13 for his first run. Not in getting out of the 130s as of yet. Terry Red's first time crossing the line. And he's not set a time. Oh, he has. Line come later than I expected. 28-4 in the top 10. I think he'll probably be hoping for a bit of a quicker time. Giza goes up to the top 7, 28 flat. Almost creeping into the 127s. Got his first win in the elite division last week. As we see Lennon go P11 now, and Nicky in the Sauber reserving for Amadi, pulling out an Amadi time. Incredible. And Nicky on debut. That shocked me, that. Lennon Zukin in the Alpine going P17 for now, as we see Benedict doing his first flying lap reserving for us. And the current elite champion from season 30 runs P8 as it stands. So some great times there, and a couple of big ones. Nicky on debut, almost into the 126s. AJ is a big time for me. Needs to get himself a good race finish. And at the moment, he's on pole position for the elite division. Yet to see Arvel. 1 or 2 watching. So good evening, Damon Hill. Current Div 2 driver. Cheering on the Mercedes, I'm sure. And Hot Sepper cheering on McLaren. The other 2 Div 2 driver. Which, if you are interested, Div 2 will be following this race at around 9 PM UK, and it's an interesting one. It's the Zandvoort Reverse, and it's a reverse championship special race. There's going to be action, there's going to be drama, and I'm here for it. Nicky dives into the pits. So you see 1 or 2 coming out for a second bite of the cherry. And it's coming on his in lap. It is a standard format. Short quali, 50% race. Let's jump on and see how Arvel is getting on. I'm scared of lap 1 Zandvoort as reverse as well, Hot Stepper. Especially that first corner, because it's quite a fast left-hander, and then it goes really tight into turn 2. Turns 3 and 4 are obviously really condensed as well, especially that turn 4 as it flicks into the left. So yeah, I think there's obviously some damaged wings, but we're here for the drama. We're here for the drama. Arvel coming. Fingers crossed for you, Sepper. Middle of the pack might be one of the best places to be. Arvel in the Ferrari up to the second row, 127.6. Reserve driver. Has some great performances this season. And I'll be interested to see if he does take a full time next season. The DLC's been announced, of course, today. I think in a couple of days it's going to be a bit more information, but we do know that there's going to be 2 extra cars on the grid. And Katami's next across the line. Katami's can he improve? He does improve up to P12 behind Brutus, who we're back on with now. Yeah, of course, there's going to be 22 cars on the grid, so we're going to need an extra 4 full-time drivers to max it out, and there'll be plenty of takers, I'm sure, with a new update coming. Yellow flags, of course, for cars letting others pass. Brutus, row 3, splits AJ and Timo. It shows what a fantastic time AJ had. Max Daniels into the pit, so he's not set a time as Terry's goes on a hot lap. Got Caps Lock, I think, next. No, it's Arvel. Is it Portuguese crossing the line? It is Portuguese. Can he improve on his current time? He's down 7/10, so he's made a mistake on that lap. As Benedict's on an out lap. We've got a Sauber. I think Nicky's on an out lap, so let's check on the Aston Martins. One of them's AJ. He's slightly down his time. Can he improve? He does improve his time. Gets into 27.6s, but stays P5. Wesker crosses the line, finds an extra 10th and goes up to P5 ahead of AJ, crucially taking provisional pole in the elite. Great time there from the McLaren. Got the Alpines next. Katames moves well out of the way, giving Lindezuken a slight slipstream. Lindezuken stays P19 though. Capstock's next across the line. Found nearly 9/10 and goes up to P12. Benedict finishes now like Timo. Goes up to P3 and now is on provisional pole for the elites. He's got a good 45-point lead in the elite division. Terry Reds. Just about to jump on Terry Reds and he moved. You sneaky bastard. Up to the top 10 for the Mercedes, 27.9. Visa Carbs next. Michael's into the pits. As we see Masu on Davey going for his second hot lap. Adam right behind. I think he might have invalidated. Here we go, back in once again. Let's see, and jump back on with Nico. See if he can challenge Portuguese. He cannot, he's in the pits. So he's not had the best of laps there. So one or two drivers making big gains. Let's jump on Zoblu. I think he's in the pit, so not going to progress. So let's jump back on with Benedict, who's found 3.5/10. We'll get him. He's into the right into the mix for row 3 here. Benedict, if he can keep it going. And I'm sure he'll be one of those drivers looking to get himself back onto the full-time grid next season. With it being DLC, it's going to be a lot cheaper. And joins his teammate on row 2. 27.4. About 800ths behind the fellow Haas driver. An incredible lap as we'll jump back on with Arvel, who's slightly out of sync. Lindezuken in the Alpines got himself ahead of his teammate. Up to P15. So he found a bit of extra time in that second hot lap. Arvel will be one to watch. No one's managed to get themselves into the 126s other than the Red Bull driver of Portuguese, who's looking to get maximum points today. Fastest first sector from the Ferrari driver. He's found about 3/10, which will get him potentially up to P3. He needs to find big gains through the second sector to have any chance of provisional pole. As I said, Portuguese needs maximum points this week. Amadi missing, our championship leader. He's got a 30-point advantage in the Platinum division. Now 52 in Div 1 championship, which it can be, you're looking at almost 40 points in the division point scheme. So he can really close the gap and make that challenge for the title go right down to the wire. Arvel will cross the line, and he's gone into the pits then, so he's not happy with that lap and he's saved himself a bit of time. Interesting call, but let's jump back on then with the man, the myth, the legend, the cat, the hairy pussy of Mr. Katames, who's just slightly down on his time, and my dog is being really annoying again. He's so fucking needy. Might as well just call him Bread. Come on, Bread. You're so needy. Come on, Bread. Go on then. Lie down then. You lie down then. Don't stare at me. Got to take all day, why don't you? Katames has found 2/10. That's some big gains. How tight it is in the midfield. You're potentially looking at around a P12. If you can eke an extra bit of time, a bit of power out of the car, you can even potentially get himself towards the top 10. He comes around the final couple of corners. Nice little slipstream of the Aston ahead. Crosses the line and P14. So didn't manage to maintain that time through the final sector, but has managed to get himself up a couple of positions. Let's have a look at bumper car Ben, currently holding up the pack, which he's done most of the season, but there's always one or two drivers that need to. There's always one or two that need to be at the back. Not everyone can be at the front, unfortunately. But he's friends with Timo and seems to enjoy racing every week. He's looking to find some big times. And his final run, 1.5 minutes to go of qualifying, and he's a good second off the pace, at least a second and a half. Bahrain doesn't seem to be his track. He's found 0.8 of it, so definitely messed up his first couple of runs. We got a runner. We'll come around the final corner. I suspect that he will be starting P20, but how much time can he gain on this final run? He found 0.8, got himself into 129s, but not enough. Zoblu's found 4/10, which is looking to gain a position ahead of Adamaku, who hasn't had the best of qualifying so far. He's found 3, so he'll stay P19 then. Everyone's coming round on their final runs. Terry's just ahead there. Let me see if I can catch people. As Nicky crosses the line, provisional pole 26.6. Now, I don't think that was in the script for Mr. Portuguese. As we see Masu on debut up to P7, 27.6. These drivers on debut are having a fantastic time, and Terry's will cross the line. And the highest will start is P13. Katames is... What are you doing? Oh, he's waiting for his teammate. At least get off the line. There we go, Katames. Don't stop, though, because your car will disqualify. So Linazukan. Katames can see him coming round, and I love this team play. Portuguese has not gone out again qualifying, so he will not start on pole. He will still part in the pole in the platinum, but and that's a great team play there from the Alpine Academy. He's almost, he's getting a second bit of, Linazukan though will start behind his teammate. AJ will start P9 as he crosses the line. Brutus Beer will start P6, Zoblu P19. Kizagis will start behind AGP 11 as Jax Daniels goes up to P3 ahead of Timo. McLaren's in next across the line. Wesker goes first and will start P9. Adamako will start P18. Adamako not having the best of quality at the moment. Well, this week at all. Patslock on his last flying lap goes ahead of Linazukan, splits the Alpines, will start P16. Tered is done, so Nicky, or Nickers, your dirty laundry, will start pole on debut. Incredible lap. Who you calling bitch? Let me see if I can invite Portuguese. Apparently he's lost connection. Sorry, I didn't see that, mate. I don't know if... Terry's invited you already, but I'll do that. But we wait for Terry's car to go in the pits as we wait for Adam says he was messed up in quali, which those who have caused those infractions, of course, will be penalised, and generally it follows with qualifying bans. But Nicky on debut. 26.6 on pole. Portuguese will join him on the front row. Jackson Timo on row 2, with Timo taking pole in the elite. Benedictson, Brutus, row 3. Arvel and Masuku J, row 4, and West Grenadier round off the top 10. Keezer and Michael behind them, with Terry's and Lennon on row 7. Katami's Capslock on row 8, with Linazuk and Adam, Zublu and Bumper Car rounding off the grid. If he's lagged out and joins back, he won't be able to race and will cause a safety car happen this season already. Hopefully he can. I don't know. I don't know if he already rejoined at all, Lennon. We'll have to see. We'll have to keep... yeah, I want him join as well. We might have to do a restart lobby. I can't see the grid at the moment, Portuguese, to be able to see that until the formation lap starts, which we might have to do a lobby restart for that to get him back in. So everyone be prepared for that. Right, so drivers just sorting out their setups and their fuel loads, which it might be the case that we'll have to do that again if we have to do a lobby restart, which I do apologise. Hope they fix some of this stuff on the latest update. You would have thought that because there's a game that already exists and they've only had to do a small part of the update, that they can focus on a lot more stuff to try and make it an absolute streamline. But we'll also be fingers crossed. We'll see in a minute or so. It's a difficult one for a setup. It's a medium downforce circuit, which means you can't really prioritise either the straights or the corners. The corner types are so different as well. So a nice medium setup. But you are on the throttle 72% of the time. And so you need good rear traction, especially coming out of some of those slow corners. The slightest loss of traction means you're a sitting duck for an overtake on these DRS zones. I'm going to have a quick slurp of my neck lube. I can't turn. Who put that table behind me? Silly. Lovely. We should find out in 1 second or so. Something's in student chat. Anybody watch The Boys? And I don't mean when you're at the gym in the shower, you little perverts. Last episode today. If anyone's seen it, don't tell me. I'll be watching it later on tonight. I don't know if... I don't know, the season hasn't been the greatest. I hope it isn't a letdown finale. What are we waiting for? Come on, Terry's. You fell asleep, mate. Yeah, Terry's. What's the restart time? I think Terry's must have had gone for a shit. I'll tell you what else is shit. The team he supports. Ah. I think we completely might have completely lagged here. Yeah, everyone's leaving the session. Okay. Lobby restart, everybody. Lobby restart. Standard Codemasters. So just bear with me a second while I get everyone else invited back in. Get the bear with me. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, folks. And we're back as we wait for the lobby to count down and drivers to go back in the garage once again. Bloody Codemasters, bloody ear, you just can't write it, can you? But we're underway. We just lost one driver, unfortunately, Zoblu can't join us for the race. But the race will be underway. We do not get put down. We will fight against the regime and we'll be back again on the grid. So drivers, yes, we'll just be a couple of minutes while they sort out their setups. Do not forget to put on your setup. I put it in the chat as well. Don't come at me crying because you've forgotten. And then they'll just be sorting out their fuel load as well. And you probably want a little bit of fuel in your car. As I mentioned earlier, it's a 72% full throttle, which means you're using quite a bit of fuel. But if drivers can do a bit of fuel management, if we do get a safety car, then that will obviously help. Might be expecting a flying carpet or a humping camel. Has anyone actually seen a camel having sex? Be very, I reckon they look really strange. Like, imagine if you're the one riding the other one in front, and all you're getting is your chin smashing against a hump. Be like shagging my mum. What you don't want to do is take a photo of him. Anyone been to Bahrain? It's not where the sheep are falling from the sky. Bahraining. No, it is home, of course, to the Tree of Life, which is about 400 years old. Nearly at the end of its life. And Bahrain's known for having the world's largest underwater theme park, even though it is one of the smallest countries in Asia. It's one of quite a few Middle Eastern F1 circuits on the calendar now. Big money involved. It'll be on the calendar for a long while too, going forward. First appeared in 2004. Well, we had the first GP. It's been, that's 20 odd years now, isn't it? 22 years. Jeez. But still hasn't got enough characteristic in the track to have a corner named after it. The only one being Turn 1, which is called Michael Schumacher. I'm sure he was thrilled at having a corner in Bahrain named after him. Should be going underway any second now. While we wait for Mr. Terry Red. So, as I mentioned earlier, Amadi leading the way in the championship. Previous, I think he's at least four times he's got the championship. But it's been taken away from him for the last couple of seasons by Callum, who's gone no line this season, and he's, with that combined with a few of his out of LOLR commitments, he's not managed to retain the title. Portuguese, though, is there with a 52 points gap between him and the championship leader, which he can close big time if he doesn't do a Monaco and crash out. But there's also likes of Timo, Adamako and Jax all hunting down the championship challengers. Sauber's leading the way as well with Bumper Car Ben, the sole full-time gainer of points. Reserve drivers do gain points, but only half points for the team that they're representing. A couple of drivers starting on the softs, which is quite interesting, which to me suggests they might be looking at a two-stopper. Arbel and Bumper Car Ben, and then it's a good mixture of hards and mediums for the first run out. Amadi leading the way, 30 points by Portuguese. in the Platinum Division, with Timo leading Lennon by 45. So Timo in a great stance for taking the Elite Championship. But this is an exciting track. I do love watching this one. There's plenty of overtaking opportunity across this 5.4 kilometre clockwise circuit. 15 corners, 9 to the right and 6 to the left, with 3 DRS zones. One down the start finish, one's between turns 3 and 4, and then one which we're approaching now. Cars trying to put plenty of temperature into their tyres. As you can see, Nico leading us round, approaching the third sector, and all eyes will be on the debutant reserving for Amadi. Put in a brilliant qualifying lap, in Portuguese, I think, was slightly hampered by his connection, hence the lobby restart. Eyes will be both of them. Jack Daniels has a really early good pace, struggles to keep with one or two of the front runners on some of the tracks. Probably be following in the dirty air. Two Haas drivers, 4th and 5th. Timo looking to claim his first championship and take it off his fellow teammate for today. Funny how things fall like that. Brutus P6, 7th for Arvel. Can he get himself onto the podium position, with Mizzou P8 on debut, Wesker P9, and then AJ rounding off the top 10. Kizagiza, can he follow up his win in Monaco with another podium position starting from a P11? Michael P12, Terry Reds P13. It's a big step up from Div 2, and he's finding it a bit more tricky than one or two others. Lennon P14, Katmis P15, Capsot 16th, Linazukan 17th, Adamako P18 after his win in Monaco last week, and Bumper Car Ben sandwiching the rest of the grid between the two Saubers. We're getting underway as it's 4-5. It's lights out and away we go in the night sky of Bahrain, and a good start from the Red Bull driver. Jumps straight into the lead of the race. Nico falling short on the line, has to slot behind and has to go side by side with the Haas of Benedict, who's got ahead of his teammate and Jack Daniels. Nico losing out 2 places. We've got a yellow flag, and it looks like Caps Lock at the back has just come a cropper. Linazukan dropping a place as well. As we see a good hot tussle here, Kizagiza losing 4 places. And there's a triple car as we go through the S-Bends starting sector 2. But it looks like everyone's come through fairly unscathed. As we see the Ferrari of Arvel going slightly off track at turn 7, bumped into the back of the Haas of Benedict. But I think there's a bit of jostling position at the back with Keyser, Adam and Terry's. Oh, it's Constantine at a very tricky. I did say it was one of the most difficult corners, and I'm sure there's one or two wings that wouldn't thank them for that at all. Linazu can fall into the rear of these hard runners, find it a little bit tricky as Arvel on the soft tyres, trying to take advantage of the softer compound. Gets himself ahead of Benedict, who slots behind at turn 13 as we come and approach the end of lap 1. We are, of course, Europa League final, so anyone that's having a keen eye on how Aston Villa are going to be doing, I'll keep you updated if the score does ping. We've got a yellow flag, and it's Nico. Oh, Nico's lost traction coming out of the final corner, and he's all the way down in P13 as Arvel and Benedict once again having a scrap round turn 1, side by side through the first couple of corners. It's brilliant driving. Arvel leaving the Haas just enough space as Masu is facing the wrong way. He's hit the wall coming out of turn 3. He's got his car going again. He's got a damage. He's going to have to pit early, and he's at the back of the order, and going to have to be careful with those dirty tyres. 1 or 2 at the front, really struggling to see Arvel lose out to both Benedict, and he's getting harassed here by the Aston of AJ. AJ up to P7, great start from the Aston Martin driver, and I'm fingers crossed, I'm willing AJ get a good result, finish this race and get some great points, because he's just found it quite difficult all season. Nico has got a bit of way to go. Oh, gets bumped by Wesker behind and knocks him off track. I think Wesker needs to give that position back that looked a little bit feisty, and I think he does let the Sauber through. A respectful driving there from the Austrian. And now he'll have to go again. I think he just missed his braking point. Nico taking a quick look. So almost going 3 wide on the final corner. Wesker just slots back behind the Sauber driver. It's Portuguese still in the leader race. Gets the fastest lap, but Brutus has now found himself up in P2. Up 4 places and is challenging now for the lead of the race. And Brutus is one of these drivers that have got really, really, really good paces. Arvel has come a crop around the final corner, turn 1. And now down in P10 as we see Wesker, I think potentially is caught in that collision now at the back of the grid. Oh, these Div 1 boys don't even know how to drive. Perhaps like in Terry Reds with a tussle through the S-Benz. Turns 5 to turn 7, and Terry Reds having a slot behind the Ferrari. Adamaku now up to P13, making good strides. Had a good opening to this race, the McLaren. As has Katames, has now found himself in P11. That pussy's on fire! Good to see Michael back on the grid. Where's Michael? He's been missing the last few weeks. Probably been working or whatever, but good to see him back in the Visa Carb. And of course it's his home race next week, which I'm sure he'll be very interested in participating in. Now running a great P8 as we see Linnezuken and Terry's. Linnezuken getting ahead of Terry's, who's just dropping down the order. Can't see if he's got any damage. And we see anyone make a potential overtake as it's quite tight with Lennon and AJ. Lennon just still being held up by the Aston. He's going to try and take another bite going up to turn 4. But it's not close enough to make a move as of yet. So the front two, Portuguese and Brutus, have actually pulled away a gap to Jax Daniels, who's found himself in P3. Wesker and Bumper Car exchanging positions. Bumper Car still on the soft switch. Probably going to last a couple more laps. Massa in the pits getting that fresh wing as expected. Not the best opening couple of laps for the Visa Carb reserve, but I admire him carrying on going. We'll have fingers crossed that a safety car does come out. There's a 63% chance of a safety car, 50% chance of a VSC. So be quite interesting to see how this race unfolds. Timo in a quite comfortable P4 has dispatched his teammate. And is in for a shout for this championship, not just his elite championship, but the actual full Div 1. Just needs to keep banging in these points and these performances. Very, very great debut season. Benedict holding up this big train then down to P9. You can see that big snake of cars as Lennon now making the move on AJ. And gets himself up to P6 on the inside, both wheel to wheel. AJ will try and fight back, but just slightly squeeze on line of turn 2. Lennon will have a second dose of DRS to defend the position. And a great overtake there from the Williams driver, now up to P6. And the Williams boys, as well as the Haas, looking for big, big points this round. Arvel on those soft tyres, are they just coming to the end of their prime lifespan? Dropping a couple of tenths here and there. With the cars battling ahead and caught in the train, it will help his charge to try and jump back in that DRS range. But all the while he's got Katames hunting him down, where Kieser just takes a quick look behind. Kieser looking very racy. Oh, as Katames just loses traction on his rear end, which is going to open the door for the Red Bull driver. Kieser knows it's not his time to make an overtake. He'll have plenty of opportunities down the DRS zones. Red Bull looking very strong in contention for the constructors. and should be getting big points this round, and potentially even take the lead of the Constructors' Championship. Nicky's going himself settled now, running in P9. We need to choose his times, the best opportunities to make the overtakes as Wesker gets ahead of Lenazuka. Lenazuka not giving up the position though, side by side through turn 3, and it's a good retake there from the Alpine, as well speaking, Nicky and Michael side by side through turn 4, but Michael defends on traction out of the corner. And Nicky will try once again as the lap unfolds. Let's jump back up to the front too, and Brutus still keeping Portuguese honest. Now Portuguese with line on last week was absolutely incredible. His I can't remember what his time was, but it blew everyone out of the water. But then did an absolute clown move and hit the wall. I think it was coming out of the Nouvelle and towards the back, and just clattered the wall and was done. It was a goner. But he's not having it all his own way this week. And Brutus trying to make the most of the medium compound, stay within the DRS range of the Red Bull, and will definitely throw his hat in the ring for the race win. Lennon now getting ahead of Benedict on the outside of turn 1, and the Williams driver making big strides. We'll have a second dose of DRS as well, as Wesker overtaking Lenazuka, and these two having a great battle down in P16. Alpine not be able to retake that. Let's go back on to Nicky and Michael. Nicky managed to make that move. In the same place as the last lap, and now up to P8. Next he will be eyeing up AJ, who does not have DRS ahead of him, so we'll just have to go on the defensive drive with his elbows out. I won't be surprised if Nicky does try and make a move up to turn 11. It's not always the best overtaking spot, and we'll just follow him around through the end of sector 2 now and make the overtake down to turn 1. It'll be interesting to see when these drivers pit. Will they try a 1-stop? Will they go for a 2-stop? I think 1-stop is possible. You're going to be losing about 23 seconds on the pit stop, so you don't want to be doing that too often. As we stand, on to lap 8, those soft drivers will surely be pitting very soon, as we see Katamis in Arvel into the pits then, as Nicky does take AJ and up to P7. Lennon and Benedict having a great tussle out of turn 1, and Lennon just staying ahead of the Haas for now. Bumper car Ben carrying through on those softs then. That's quite interesting for the Sauber. I was obviously having a good drive and looking after his tyres. AJ, although they'll have one eye on Michael behind him, will try and close the gap. Looks struggling with his little pace as he was settled into the race, and he's probably just managing his tyres to make sure he gets to do the 1-stop. At the moment he is in a podium position for the elite. He is under threat from Michael. Where's Michael? He's in P9. Michael, of course, is in the elite. Did the switch with I can't remember who joined the Platinum division. As we see Brutus pitting then, trying to potentially look at doing an undercut. And we've got a yellow flag, and it's a Sauber of bumper car Ben, who's hit the wall coming out of turn 13, and those soft tyres are not looking very good. Brutus coming out of the pits now. He does not want to get caught in traffic, and he's going to be right behind this train of hard runners. It's not where he would want to be. Probably pit a little bit early. Nicky getting past the Hassel Benedict then. And up to P5 now. The hard tyres are probably the better compound to be on at this stage, as bumper car Ben's retired in the pits, which we do appreciate. Thank you very much. Just knew that his race was done, losing his wing. Then the soft compound tyre strategy was probably not the one to go on. Katamise has gone onto the softs, which shows that he's going to be on a two-stopper. Good 11 seconds open air on those softs to make use of those prime laps for the Alpine. Portuguese has got breathing space with Brutus pitting. This can now just pump in some laps, and Manchester tyres sets the fastest lap as well. So yeah, just showing that pressure off. You take advantage of that. Nicky now closing in on Lennon. He's in his slipstream. Is he close enough to make the overtake? He's closing. It's going to be a late move if he's going to do it. No, you feel better of it. Great driving there from the Sauber. Sees a door, but not quite close enough to make the overtake. We'll have a second bite of the cherry as the Alpine Linnezuken is now pitting, getting off the hard tyres. So he's going to be doing a two-stopper. I'm quite surprised as Nicky on the inside of turn 4. Lennon sees him coming, leave each other plenty of room. I think Lennon will keep the corner though. No, Nicky stayed ahead of side by side, and Lennon has to slot behind. Brilliant driving and great aggression there from the Sauber. As I said, the hard tyres are probably a better compound to be on at this moment of the race. And Nicky now up to P4. So one or two drivers, yep, definitely going for the two-stopper. I think these hard runners doing the tyre on the first stint will be looking to do the one-stop. AJ has been overtaken by Michael now. And I'll try and stay within the DRS as long as possible. It's very tricky, especially through this section. Turns 1 and 2, and that S-bends following the dirty air. It's so easy to lose control of your car. The cars aren't planted to the ground. As I said, it's a medium downforce circuit. So a little bit of air under your car can send it flying. Lennon's been dropped already by Nicky. So Nicky just going a complete wide berth. What's he doing? You trying to pick up marbles? You trying to? Oh, Keys is in the pits, I suspect. So the amount he dropped. He dropped more than a hooker's knickers on a Friday night. Pitt getting his first pit stop. He might be able to go to the end. It's going to be very tight though, doing 19 laps or so on the hard tyres. Adamako leading his battle, 4P9. Caplock and Terry's pulled along with him. All going for the hard stint, first stint. Adam held up in qualifying. And at the start, the rear end of the grid, which just makes it a lot difficult to work your way through the pack. As you see, Brutus here stuck behind Wesker, but makes an overtake at turn 11, which I said earlier a couple of laps ago. It's not the best overtaking opportunity, but Brutus cannot spend time stuck behind any cars. And I think he's on a two-stop, Brutus. Surely he's not going to make it to the end. It's going to be tight for him. Well, he's got a little bit of open air. You see the battle ahead as we see a cluster of cars in the pits now. Benedict, Michael and AJ all with a similar strategy. As Capslock getting past Adamako. Defending well at turn 1, and we'll have a second dose of DRS. No, he does not. It's just Adamako has the DRS. I was lying. Adam, oh, and Adam just misses his braking point. Had to swerve out the way of Clyde in the back of the Ferrari. So great reactions from the McLaren, but he's lost a bit of time and opened the door for Terry Reds. And he's hit on the curb, lost traction. And he's not facing the way that he wants to. And Adam's retired on track. And that's going to be a penalty, definitely, from Adam. Unless he can prove that it wasn't on purpose, like maybe his wheel disconnected or something, but that was not a good thing for the McLaren, and he's out. Couple of dodgy corners, and because what happens if you retire on track, there's a high chance of bringing out the safety car, which obviously we don't want to purposely happen. So McLaren is out. The race winner from Monaco last week is out. So lap 13, I'm looking for some Portuguese. Good 7 seconds in the lead as we see Lennon now pitting. One of the last ones on the medium tyres for the first run. Getting rid of these tyres as we see Katamis and Arvel go through. Arvel looking to try and overtake the wide fridge of the Alpine. Not close enough to make that overtake. Benedict overtaking Lennon as Lennon comes out behind the Haas. Lennon will be thankful for the slight dose of DRS. Similar tyre strategy from these pair. Keys are going through, and then Zukan, who lets the Red Bull go through. I don't know why. I thought the Canadians were ones that give things away, not the Swedish. Maybe he's like a Swede, like a vegetable. Oh, well. Stuck behind Katami still. Katami trying to make as much use of these soft tyres as possible, but they do not last. Arvel will have a dose of DRS and should be able to make the move. Sticky needs to get a good exit out the final couple of corners. The Ferrari. And we'll see how much he actually gains. You can see Katami has launched away. The straight line speed on the Alpine is crazy, and Arvel's going to struggle to overtake even with a second lot of DRS. But the soft compound tyres will die very quickly, especially if you've done 3 runs of qualifying, which we know that the Alpine definitely did. But he defends well and defends that P9. Lennon's still stuck behind Benedict. You see AJ taking a quick look at Michael. After the pit stops, AJ's still stuck behind the Visa Carb. And there'll be a good battle between these two until the end of the race. We're about halfway through now here at Bahrain International Circuit. And Portuguese in a very comfortable position to take the race win. Ah, delicious neck lube. Jack Daniels has got comfortable. Why is everyone? Can someone explain to me why everyone's driving down the by the pit wall? Is this something I don't know? Is this some sort of bug or something? Caps locks in. His battle with Terry Reds, and he's not choosing to do the undercut. And his second stint will be on the mediums. Terry's choosing to do an extra lap. And that's got Wesker as well. He's joining that battle between Terry's and Capsock. The Capsock stuck behind Linzuken and Kiza, which is not where he wants to be. Linzuken's got ahead of the Red Bull. Ah, okay, makes sense. Thanks, Lennon. No bumps. Oh, as we see Arvel goes for a move at turn 8. Very tight, slow corner. Still stuck behind the Alpine of Katames. And there's many a driver that's been frustrated, been stuck behind as he bumps into the back. Masu retiring in the pits, I think, or is that down the straight? Must be in the pits. Hyundai not having the best debut race and has called it a day for today. As Arvel looks like he's finally made it move at turn 11 and 12. And that's some good patience from the Ferrari reserve. Got himself up to P8 now. Will Katames bullet past or will he pit at the end of this lap? No point in damaging your race because there's cars coming up right behind him who will have DRS as well. Were they close enough? Lennon's close enough to Benedict. Not able to make a move as yet as Katames. Oh, did he run deep? He went for a move at turn 1. Arvel we're looking to retake the position going to turn 4. As you can see, battle between Lennon and Benedict. Lennon on the outside. Katames defends the inside. This could have been... I think Katames defended that corner really well. Arvel tried to do the switch back. Oh! Side by side. Bumpy wheels through the S-bends. And Katames come a cropper. It was always going to in the S-bends. As we see the Haas trying to take on the Ferrari. Taking advantage of the squabble between those two. The Ferrari and the Alpine. It's getting very feisty through this middle sector. AJ, you can just see taking a look at the back, waiting for something to happen. Not getting involved in any of that wheel banging. Katames now down P13. Probably should have conceded the position, especially on those 8-lap-old hard soft tyres, which have probably got more life out of them from quali. Benedict trying to make a move here on the Ferrari, just slots behind, coming out of the final corner. There's going to be some moves happening here. Benedict already getting past Arvel. Arvel not having the best exit out of the final corner as Katames is now in. It's going to be congestion as Benedict defends the inside of turn 1. Arvel's lost 3 places going down the start finish, and AJ will be looking to make that a 4th. As Lennon getting past Michael. Where's Michael? Losing a position. He's lost another one to Arvel. And has a look on the inside of the Ferrari. Great overtake there from the Visa carb. A bit of snap of oversteer from the Ferrari. Following the dirty air through the S's. Has a lunge on the inside of turn 8. Was that controlled? Michael saw him coming out. What a move from AJ. Overtook on the inside, caught them both napping. As that's not a great move there from Michael, probably wasn't on. Making a move on the inside where there was no space. Arvel going deep, so a bit of a calamity. Couple of corners there. And AJ, great overtake. Great opportunism and up to the top 10 then, as we see Timo, Jackson, Nicky all in the pits. Brutus retains that P2 and is within a pit stop of Portuguese, so of course we'll have a stint on the mediums. Still got 11 or 12 laps Brutus to do. I don't know if he's going to go to the end. Wesker's in and Terry Reds is in, who are having that battle for Catsock, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes through, as he's just gone through past them both who are still in the pits. Kiza Giza's gone through as well. Arvel and Michael having a good battle again, coming out of the first couple of corners of the lap. Arvel has to slot behind for now. Then Azuka in the pits and will come out behind his teammate, both doing the 2-stop. As you can see, Portuguese she'll probably pit, I think, now. No, everyone else is just pit. Actually does. Right on cue. And we'll probably see Brutus then take the lead of the race. I'll be surprised if he's trying to do a one-stop. And Aston Villa 1-0 after 42 minutes. Incredible achievement for the West Midlands club. Portuguese just coming down the pit lane, and Brutus does take the lead of the race and will be looking in his rear view and watch Portuguese fly towards him. Jack Daniels running P3. He's got a good 2.5 seconds to Timo and Nicky, who has that track limits penalty, which is going to put his chances of a podium very, very difficult. Caps not going through as his teammate goes into the pits. Two-stopper for Arvel, who did start on the soft tyres. Again, it's probably the wrong strategy. Giza splitting these two. This battle that was happening in the first stint. He's on a different tyre strategy. Running P11, will look and try and get himself a top 10 finish. As Michael picks up the track limits as well. Trying to battle with AJ after Arvel pitting and not becoming a distraction anymore. 10 laps or so to go. Brutus leading the way by 4.5 seconds. I'm pretty sure Portuguese will close that gap very, very quickly. Feels quite spread out as we wait for the final few laps to creep up on us. And Brutus does pit. And we'll try and reduce the damage as Jack Daniels gets himself a fastest lap. And has Timo actually closing in. Timo's gained a second or so on the Mercedes. Brutus coming out behind his teammate. And ahead of the battle with AJ and Michael, which is exactly where his strategy team has wanted to put him. Some fresh tyres. I'm surprised I'm going to set of mediums. Maybe he's chose a different compound strategy for the week. Could have gone, yeah, did 2 mediums in the soft, 2 mediums in the hard. And next up is his teammate. The teammate battling with Benedict will not want to slow and let his teammate past. We'll try and double team on the Haas. Basically like any fat bird on Tinder, they need double teaming. That's Benedict for today. Benedict, the fat bird from Tinder. The Williams boys will be spit roasting him. Portuguese then 29.3 fastest lap. I'd be very surprised if somebody takes that from him. Lennon closing the gap on the Haas now. Brutus on fresh tyres. Can Lennon make the overtakers? Benedict goes on the non-bumpy section. Benedict still too far ahead. The two drivers got a really good straight line speed as Michael ahead of AJ with the aid of DRS. AJ will try and retake the position. He's right on the gearbox of the Visa carb. It's not close enough to make a move, just didn't get good enough. Exit out of turns 2 and 3. Nicky just over a second behind Timo. Let's keep an eye on if he can close the gap on the Haas driver. You see further down, Terry Reds has dispatched Wesker and he's now looking to surpass the Red Bull. Have Giza, both of course taking the step up from Div 2 last season. Both found themselves. Both actually got a podium last week, actually. Keezer and Terry's P1, P2 in the elite, respectively. And proves that sometimes not always having the fastest pace on the grid is essential. Finishing the race is more important. But both did fantastic drives. It's not taking anything away from them, of course. Monaco is a tricky circuit. Tered's good exit out of the final corner, looking to make a move side by side with Geezer, and Geezer has to slot behind. Tered's out to P11. It's got a very uncharacteristic track limits penalty there, as Lennon lets Brutus go. And I hope Brutus can try and get past Benedict. Benedict proving a stubborn little bitch. Timo gained a couple of tenths on Jax Daniels. Both Portuguese. Timo, this is a big statement this week if they can finish in these current positions as high up as possible. As I've mentioned a couple of times, Aston Villa 2-0 before half time. 45 minutes away from being crowned Europa League champions. They've already got the Champions League spot from finishing position in the Prem, but that'd be an incredible achievement. Timo closing the gap here. Big gap in the lead of the elite division. As Brutus getting past Bennett to turn one. Bennett fought for all his might to try and hold off the Williams, but Brutus has shown fantastic pace the whole race. Has now up into P5. It's got 8-9 seconds to catch up to Nicky. Katzlock and AJ. Katzlock sidling his way through on those medium tyres ahead of the Aston Martin. And up to P9. It's going to be a big ask for Williams to close the gap. He might be able to get into penalty range of Nicky, but his pit stop strategy has not been the correct one, and he will miss out on a podium as it stands. So Timo will get... let's go there. So the Platinum Division, Portuguese, P1, Jax P2, and Brutus will get P3. The Elite Timo would get P3. Timo will get P1. Lennon will get P2, and Michael P3. And we're having a great battle. Brutus has already got rid of Benedict. Lennon, will he have enough energy in his car to get past? But you can see a good exit again out the final corner from the Haas. It's still bumpy down there. What a weird track. Wesker getting past Geezer with the aid of DRS up to P12, the McLaren. McLaren teammate, of course. Crashing out early in the race. Losing control on the curve going through turn 6 and turn 7. So sole points for the McLaren will be coming from Wesker. Alpines have put some fresh soft tyres on, looking to get that extra fastest lap point. Will Katamise claim it as he crosses the line? He does not, but he's used many soft tyres from the start of qualifying, and Lindsay won't get it either. Almost 9-second gap with 5 laps to go for Portuguese. And he's well within the mix now. Oh, he did a snap of oversteer. Could have completely messed that up on his own. He managed to keep control of the car. Timo just over a second now behind Jax. It's clawing ever so slightly closer as each lap unfolds. Jax needs to be careful. He doesn't want to fall into the clutches of the Haas driver. Jackson with a shout for the championship as well. And we'll get big points. 3 races to go after this one. Speed in the pit lane for Arvel. And it's because he's retired. And we do appreciate him retiring the pits as well. The Italian. He got a pre-Italian hand gesture. But he's retired. And again, appreciate that. And hope to see you again next week. If a spot is available. Capsock working his way up the field, trying to gain an extra position past Michael. Casimir's in the pit once again. He's trying for this fastest lap. This cat's got 9 lives and apparently 9 sets of bloody soft tyres. And Linzuken is retired in the pits as well. Bloody hell. Losing more drivers than we did in Baku. Already lost 6 drivers from the start of quali then. 14 left on the grid. Cat's looking to try and make an overtake on Michael. Michael's got a good gap ahead of him. And Timo, further up the grid, is now within DRS range of Jax Daniels. Jax had it quite comfortable for quite a few laps and is now in a dangerous position. Michael under threat not only from Caps Lock but AJ and Terry Reds closing in. Terry Reds just a couple of tenths behind the Aston Martin. AJ must be struggling on these hard tyres now as they come in to near to the end of their lifespan. Still a top 10 position. It'll be a great finish for the Aston Martin. Lennon's still stuck behind Benedict. He'll be giving him shit in the chat. Where's Lennon going? He's had a good old sneeze. Nearly ended up in the wall. Timo just falling out of DRS range. Jax is safe once again. See, Jax is trying to harvest as much energy as possible. And Nicky only a couple of seconds behind. It's a good recovery drive from the Sauber. Potentially a bit put out of a big fight with Portuguese. But fortunately had a moment earlier in the race. Coming in out of the final corner. Brutus as well on the wrong strategy. Would have been keeping Portuguese honest as well. As we see Terry's on the inside of turn 1. They overtake from the Mercedes and nothing really AJ can do on those old hards. They'll try and fight it back. It's not close enough to regain P10 and Terry's. Now see the battle ahead of him and see how that unfolds. He's got a couple of laps to try and make his moves. He does have that track limits penalty, of course, so won't need any gains unless he can get past Michael. Laps to go in, as I said. Timo now within DRS range and in a more advantageous position than he was last lap. He comes around the final couple of corners. Is Jack just preserving energy? Is he just preserving tyres? Or is he struggling now as his tyres are 10 laps old? His teammate may have looked after them a little bit better. We'll have a second dose of DRS to close him in. As we approach turn 4, go wide. Climb the curb as much as possible. Go wide again, get good traction on the exit. Cut the curbs. Oh, he's cut that one too much. That could have gone him a track limits warning. As we've got a three-way battle further down. AJ losing a couple of positions, trying to battle with Terry's, I believe. Terry's defending well at the first corner. AJ battling hard here with his elite division rivals. And then picking up a late track limits penalty, which could put him under threat potentially from Caps Lock. He's in a decent position at the moment. Penultimate lap, 12 seconds, Portuguese in the lead. He's had quite a, apart from their first couple of laps, he's had quite a straightforward race, which I think he'll be very, very happy with that going into next week's race. AJ just falling adrift now, his tyres just becoming very difficult. He'll be trying like go ice skating, but then you've got no actual skates on. These old tyres. Half a second now on the final lap. There's only a couple more opportunities for the Haas to make the overtake. As we see Terry's and Caps Lock down to turn one. Terry's making late moves up to P9, the Mercedes. Caps Lock knows he doesn't have to defend that too hard. He just stays within DRS and penalty range, and he can jump on penalties. We'll stick with this battle for P2. Timo still struggling to stay within that half a second that he needs. This is probably his last opportunity to make the move, unless it's a self-inflicted mistake from the Mercedes. Should be a quite comfortable P2. For the Red Bull, easy as you like. Easy like Sunday mornings. Whoa. Or Wednesday nights in Bahrain. Portuguese takes the win. Closes that gap to the for the title challenge. It helps with Ahmadine not being here, of course, but you got to be there to win it. Jack Daniels will come home P2. Timo will cross the line P3 and take P1 in the elite. Niki on debut. Big congratulations to him. P4, what could have been. Brutus will cross the line P5 and P3 in the Platinum division. Next up, Benedictus, oh, look like it's going in the pits then, will come home P6, with Lennon coming home P7 and P2 in the elite, with Michael coming home P8 on his return, and P3 in, no, he gets jumped. Caps Lock takes P3 in the elite. RKO out of nowhere, and that's how it shows how crucial track limit penalties can be. Unlucky Michael. Where's Michael? In the bin. That was a quite entertaining race. Plenty of action each lap. Yeah, Mickey saying he bottled it first lap. Plenty more races to come, I'm sure. The Red Bull driver takes the top step, claims another victory in his Lights Out League racing career. Gets the fastest lap as well. That extra point will do him good. Caps Lock getting driver of the day, which is of course decided by the drivers. Most overtakes, we'll see who's got the biggest gains. They get the biggest point. Looks like it's Caps Lock who's come P8 from P16, so gets a bonus point for that. But Portuguese takes the win in Bahrain, 29-3. Jack Daniels joins P2 on the podium. Timo getting that third spot. P1 in Elite, Dicky P4. Brutus takes P5 and there's P3 in the Platinum. Benedict 6, Lennon P7 and Caps Lock both on the Elite podium. Michael P9 and AG round off the top 10. Big congratulations to him. He needed a great result. Terry's P11, Wesker 12th, Keys 13th, Katamis and Linazukan Alpines at the rear. Arvel, Masu, Adamako, Bumper Car Ben, and we lost what's his name? Zabu after qualifying. If you want to see some more Lights Alley racing straight after this in about 10 minutes time or so, we'll probably give it 10 or 15 minutes because there is no qualifying. It's a special race, reverse championship at Zandvoort Reverse. If you want to see that race, join us next week for the Div 1 boys, 7:30 UK. They'll be doing their go at Reverse Championship. Zandvoort Reverse. Thank you for joining us. This is Alex. Lights Out League Racing. Peace out.